And again, we're talking about relationships. And I'm talking about all or nothing. Use both feet. So, again, all or nothing, use both feet. And what I was really wanting to focus on in the area of relationship is all I could think about was how Christ gave his everything, no questions asked, there was nothing to it. He came to do a work, and that is what he did. And in life, we're always expecting someone to reward us for our work. We're always looking for someone to give us a pat on the back, a compliment, even a monetary reward for our work. Jesus came when we had no idea that we weren't even in a rightful place, and he submitted himself to be the ultimate sacrifice for us. Now, what's really interesting, can you go back to that for me, Jermaine? What is interesting is that he did it when we weren't expecting it. He came, he didn't have to do any preparation, and just think about the preparation that you did just to come here today at 1 o'clock. Some of you changed 3 times for a 1 o'clock service. And to me, 1 o'clock means you're supposed to be comfortable. But I'm just saying, 1 o'clock, you're not thinking traditional. But some of us, me included, you stare, you sit there, you contemplate, well, no, I don't want to do it this way. No, I don't want to do it that way. And then sometimes that makes you late. Because I have a hard time understanding how we struggle to make it to 1 o'clock, and traditionally we're usually at church at 10:30, 11:45 at the latest. But it's like no matter what, because we're not prepared or because we put too much thought into things sometime, we lose track of time and we get sidetracked. But when Jesus came on the scene, he didn't ask any questions. And when you go back all the way to his childhood. Even with his mother, not in a disrespectful way, but he told her, I am about my Father's business. And you have to know when you come on the scene where you are going, what you are going to do, and why you are doing it. That's good. That's good. Jesus did not get distracted in all of the naysayers. Even that was when he was young. He didn't come back on the scene until he was 30. So we don't know what was going on in between there, but we can trust that he was about his Father's business in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Now, you really have to not be concerned about people and not worried about, how can I word it, who's going to approve and who's not going to approve, because you will really get messed up. He presented himself this sacrifice, the death when we were far too weak and rebellious. So, he went on to do this work ultimately when we were fighting. I say we just in the sense of the body of the world. We're fighting and going against everything. He had those who were super religious and just knew they knew the way, who were saying he wasn't the truth. And then because you got those who, how can I word it, you trusting in the old way. You trusting in those who you've looked for example to, and when they say, no, that's not it, and you have no relationship, but you jump on and say, no, that's not it neither. Right. So he had to deal with that. Those who didn't even know, his strength and his abilities, but because those who carried the truth said he wasn't it, then of course they're going to jump on the bandwagon. And so that's why we were weak and rebellious. We were in a state of, I'm not going to believe it, I'm not going to do it. Well, How many times in our natural relationships with one another do we fight against, I'm not doing it. I'm not going to love you. I'm not going to forgive you. I'm not going to move on. I want to stay right here. And then get mad because you don't want to stay with me. Oh, don't nobody understand. I tried. It took too much time. Bills is coming. Some of us have health issues. You have children. You have life outside of whatever you want to hold on to in your rebellious state. And it said, rebellious to do anything to get ourselves ready. Which basically means you so stuck in what you want to believe and how you feel, you don't even know that you're running behind on time. You don't even know that it's about to pass you up, you're about to miss it, whatever the opportunity is. Now, some of you want to harp, I just hit a little bit. I'm not married, as was announced so gracefully in the beginning. But some of you, all you think about is a relationship as far as seeking a husband and a wife. You don't know nothing. You're not thinking about a relationship as far as you are concerned and how you are as an individual and what you have to offer, or, you know, how you're carrying yourself. Now, I'm not saying it's right nor wrong. Just because of where I am right now in my life, that part is not my concern. I'm not saying you're right, you're wrong. If that is your desire, take it to the Lord and let Him guide you in the way that you will be okay and come out on a victorious end. Sometimes we get stuck in our minds how we think life should be, or how we think life should go. And women, no disrespect, but when I was in my later 30s, but in my earlier 30s, all of my female friends who were not married started going crazy. And I love them dearly, but it was like something hit, and it wasn't all at the same time, but they all was going through it different times. And it really was bad for those who graduated college and had 1 or 2 degrees or was working on a doctorate, because they had planned out in their life how their life is supposed to go. And they had worked hard. They had completed high school. They worked hard, completed college, and even grad school. And again, I said some were working on their doctorates. So they just knew, because in my head, I had mapped out this map, and I had met all these destinations that next is supposed to go like this. And it kind of wasn't flowing that way. So in their mind, they were failing. They were failing. And I don't know if it's a male thing or because I kind of nonchalant sometimes. I don't know. But I just couldn't understand. Life is great. You're making moves, you're doing things, but I'm not married, or I don't have kids. Well, yet. Say the yet. Just say the yet. Because then, when that comes, then you're going to be mad about what else doesn't flow the way you got married, but it's not flowing quite the way you wanted it to. Or you had children, and they're not quite the ideal children that you thought that you were supposed to have. You and your husband were good kids, but somewhere this demon seed has rose. I don't know whose child he is. He's not mine. And then you want to start labeling your family. Oh, you act like your uncle. Or, oh, you act like, well, whatever. That's where you at. That's what's going on. But I said all that to say, Do not get distracted when it is not quite going the way that you envisioned it for it to go. In your relationships, you have to know why and who and what you are. Meaning, Jesus came for a purpose. He came that he might be the sacrifice. He came that he would take on all sin. All sin. And I've said it before. Imagine what it feels like to take on something that you don't know nothing about. You had no desire, you had no want. Jesus took all of that on and yet didn't complain, just to let us know how much he loves us. And in our relationships, you have to go in knowing your strength, knowing who you are, knowing that if you are a lover, and I don't mean fleshly. If you are a lover, meaning a person that knows how to exude love in every situation, know that there is somebody who don't want your love. Know that there is somebody who's going to question if you're pure, if your motives are right, if you really love me. And guess what? Your job is to keep loving. If you are a giver, I mean a giver with your time, with your money, you are a giver. Know that there are people who are going to use you, but you have to keep giving. Your blessing is in being what you are supposed to be, doing what you are supposed to do. And in life, and yes, your feelings might get hurt. Yes, you might even be disappointed, and at times you may not want to continue with the mission or your assignment. But you have to remember, take on the mind of Christ in all that you do. Remember, there were times when he was not patted on the back, but yet he kept going. Can you imagine dragging across for miles? My Lord. And people just looking and staring at you, and actually you don't know it, but you're doing it now. Right. Yeah. You have one. Yeah. You have one. Yeah. And I don't mean to say dragging like, you know, you broke down, but in some instances you are broke down. Yeah. And you are dragging it. But remember, find it a privilege to be able to take on whatever that responsibility is, and know God has given you the strength to endure just as he did. Know that he's going to give you everything you need to be able to continue in that area. If you are a strong man, strong woman, what do you mean by that? You are able to take on people's burdens. You're able, I don't want to say you're a garbage can, but you're like a counselor. You're a person people can talk to about anything. Guess what? Even when you don't have anybody to talk to, keep doing that. Ultimately, most of the time, you need to take everything to Jesus anyway, because you're so heavy after you've talked, and people talk to you trusting that you're not talking to anyone else. When you give and don't tell people what you've done. When you love people and love your mission, and don't spread, oh, I had to do this for them. Oh, I had to do that. Because that really shows that you really don't have a true understanding of your gift and your purpose. And you're still not quite ready, because you're looking for someone to applaud you for your works. Jesus did not have a cheerleading squad when he was hanging on the cross, in the sense of a positive cheerleading squad. Nobody was there giving thanks like we just gave thanks, talking about, Lord, I appreciate everything that you've done. Lord, I know this is going to be great. I know you are doing it for my benefit. He didn't have all that.
Yes.
So that means you're not going to have it.
Right.
I'm trying not to be, down. I'm really want to encourage you in the sense of know with everything that is in you, I have to complete my mission. I have to do it. Excuse me, when I say all or nothing, that means go in and don't ask any questions. Go in and just jump in. And what I mean by jump in, sometimes when we join churches or different organizations, we're hesitant. We do a little bit at a time. Or, for instance, I use church since this is where we are. You can usher, you could sing, you're just a person of many gifts. But when you come in the door, you say, no, I'm just going to do this. Now, you see everything that needs to be done. You know the help that's needed concerning the kingdom. But you say, no, I'm just going to do this. I don't want to do anything else. But you know that you have a lot of equipment, is what I will say, that is needed. So you have to know that just like Jesus came and didn't ask any questions when we were deemed not ready, unworthy, he just jumped in and gave his all. That's how you need to do.
That's good.
If you are a lover, again, just jump in loving. Come on, hug everybody. I pick with Pastor Radford all the time because we're kind of different extremes. Pastor Radford smiles all the time. Mad, he's smiling. Hungry, he's smiling. Happy, he's smiling. You have to know him to read the smiles. Because every smile ain't the same, but to the untrained person, he is smiling. Oh, it's okay. So you thought. Come on, baby. Come on. I'm the opposite. And I'm not the mean person, even though people think I am. But I don't smile all the time. There's nothing wrong. My face is a little bigger than his, so it takes a little bit more work. There's nothing wrong. But what I'm saying is, he, in his area and his calling to encourage people, it has even helped me to be more aware that maybe I should smile more. And I'm using him for an example because I know a lot, and I've been through a lot with him, and I know every situation did not deserve a smile. It did not deserve a smile. I'm mad because he's smiling. And he's like, Smith, be quiet. No. Stop smiling and come on out of here so they know you for real. And he like, I ain't worried about these people. I am. Stop smiling. But he doesn't let me deter him. He continues to smile. So that's what I'm telling you. Don't stop loving. Don't stop giving. Keep on. Stay in that. It will take you to places that you would never imagine just because you are operating in an area that you have been gifted and you are doing it with the love of Christ, not expecting anything. Again, like I keep saying, Christ gave first. First. He was not looking for any return. How you view your relationships will determine how your life is set up. What do you mean? Okay. If I can only love you, expecting you to love me back, I'm not going too far.
Well, tell the truth.
Miss Darlisa, if I only give to you, expecting you to give to me when I need something, I'm going to be let down. If I can only help you, expecting that one day I'm in the mud and you're not going to walk past me, you're going to be let down. Excuse me. Because people, there are different issues. It's not that everyone is not looking at you. It's not that they're not concerned about you. You don't know what state they might be in while you're in your state. You waddling in the mud and they got 1 foot in, you just don't know it. So you want them to reach down and help you and pick you up, but they too scared they're going to fall in with you. Because you don't know they right on the edge. Or you're in a financial situation. You don't know they're in a financial situation, but they smiling. So you think, oh, because they smile, they can help me. No, they can't. They just learn how to smile through that situation. Or, you know, they really can't. But you have to be determined that no matter what my relationship is with someone, I'm going to keep doing that thing. That is how we're connected. Those of you who are married, what was the connection? What made you want to get married? And yes, I know it cannot be one thing. If you need to list those things and continue in that, even in the situation of disappointment. Amen. You have to continue to speak the positive things that you know, okay? Even for us single people. When you're going through life, you're feeling judged, you're feeling misused, whatever the case is, nobody wants me. Come on. Look, and I just for a little bit. When I get dressed, I promise you it is for me. I promise you it is for me. I have never thought about when I walk in the room, these shoes is gonna kill them. Nope. My mind is the exact opposite, because I've been used to people being like, that's too much. Didn't ask you. I didn't. And then I really want to hit them with, well, if you pay for them, I might take them back. How much you pay for them? You can't do it. It's not a pride thing. It's not. But I do it for me. You have to learn how to live life in fulfillment for you. I'm not telling you don't be concerned about your brother and your sister, but your brother and your sister is going to do them at the end of the day. They really are. And nothing hurts worse than when you know you have done all you can do, and then they walk past you like, oh, I don't need you. Oh, okay. Well, so then it makes me question, why did I do everything that I did? What was the motives behind why I loved you, why I cared for you, why I gave for you, why I've done anything for you? Why did you do what you have done? Do not ever go through life doing, expecting to be for return. That is not how relationship works. Relationship is, I do it because that is what I was created to do. Relationship is, I do it because I don't know any other way to be but this way. Now, pause. I'm not talking about your attitudes. I'm not talking about your mean, nasty dispositions. This is how I was created. Wrong. Wrong. That's not it. I'm talking about doing good, working, loving, caring, being generous, being uplifting, being positive. If you're always the only positive person, please stay that way. If you're always the person that is speaking to the atmosphere and you know it's dark, you know it's ugly, but you're like, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. please stay that person. Because I promise you, people may not want to admit it, but that makes them feel better. That makes them be able just to go a little bit further. And yes, people act like they want you to jump on their team and join in their pity parties, but they really don't. It's just how the mind is set up. They're not looking for you. When people come to you and say, oh, life is so hard, please do not jump on them. Yeah, it's hard for me too. Right. Don't do that. That's your opportunity to encourage. Or even if it is hard, brother, sister, I'm going through, but we gonna make it together. Not only you, we gonna make it, because when you make it, we gonna help each other. As I'm making it, you making it. As you making it, I'm making it. That's just how we have to take it on. When you know your purpose, again, please just do it. Go in full force. Don't ask any questions. You will waste valuable time seeking approval from others. You will waste valuable time seeking approval from others. Galatians chapter 1, verse 10. For I am now seeking the approval of man or of God, or am I trying to please man? If I were still trying to please man, I would not be a servant of Christ. Now, Paul is one of my favorites, and if you can't tell, I just like keeping it straight up. And Paul, he used to be, I don't know, if you're reading it and you be like, Paul was really getting with them people. Paul, it's almost like he would say it and keep going. And at this situation, he's talking to the church of Galatia. And he's telling them, basically, I have to do everything that I know to do regardless of how you feel. That's right. Regardless of what you think, I know where my assignment comes from. I know who sent me. I know whose power I have. I know whose word I'm speaking. So if you like it, if you clap your hands, if you go to sleep, I'm still going to do everything that I have to do. And if you read, he says, I would not be a servant of Christ if I was seeking your approval. I have become your servant. I have become doing what you want me to do. And manipulation is very powerful. And the church is one of the most dangerous places that I have experienced it. And what I mean by that is, soon, if you have a position or whatever the case, well, God told me to tell you. No, he didn't. Y'all quit telling people that too. Please. Quit getting people in the corner and talking about, I had a dream. And God, if he gave you a vision, pray that God will give you the right opportunity to help them make that vision come to pass. If God gave you a vision that I am going to be a successful entrepreneur, pray for your finances, because I need your help. I like encouragement, but if God told you that that someone is going to be a powerful counselor, help them to go through the right thing, to seek everything they need, the schooling, their certificates, everything they need to be in that way and be successful. Yeah. Sometimes you really get caught up, and it's really bad when you're doing it to make yourself look as if you are in a relationship with God that you're really not. Peter wasn't going through telling the people that basically, God told me to tell you, so you better obey me.
Right. All right. Yes, good.
God told me to tell you, so if you don't do, then he just told him, this is what I'm going to tell you.
Right.
Like it or not, that's the way it is. That's how you have to be about your purpose. Like it or not, this is who I am, this is what I do, and this is how I'm going to do it. I'm not telling you be nasty, be rude, walk over people to get to where you know you're supposed to be in God. Just keep love people. I promise you, people, God will move things and people out of your way. Before you look up, you like, well, that was easy. What you thought was a great adversary was really just an opportunity for God to shine. That is all it was, all it is. Some of you like, well, it's been taking 6 months. Stay in a place of thanks. Stay in a place where you find it a privilege to go through with God. In our class this morning, Pastor was reading one of the sayings that he says, and in it he said, I find it basically a privilege to experience pain with God, Christ. And that shot through me. Like my face told the story. The people in the class was like, what's wrong with you, Pastor G? Nothing. Kind of don't agree with that. And it wasn't, I was so fleshed out, as we say. I mean, I was like, no. Can we find another word? And I let that pain play on me like and it ain't nothing big, I promise you. If I said pain, I wanted to say hurt. I thought hurt didn't sound as bad. But to the next person, you can't say I have to experience hurt because they're going to be thinking like, so people just going to hurt me? Guess what? Yes. Are you going to experience pain? I'm sorry to tell you this. Yes.
Come on.
Jesus experienced pain. More pain than what you could probably, you would walk off the scene. Somebody spit on you. Y'all ain't ready. Y'all not ready. You're not ready. Somebody lie on you to your face, you not ready. Everybody, put you, go way back, put you on the scene. Put you on the scene. Some of you would have put on a show so bad, they would have been like, there's no way they're the Savior. There is no. I put my trust in, no. And that's how some of us act now. Yeah. We just pout, we cry, we kick, we scream. You don't want to talk to nobody. You disappear. You just throw everything. Oh, I'm done. I'm done. And I can only tell you because I've been through that. But what I had to learn was I had to keep going even in the middle of me being confused, not knowing, it being hurt. I had to keep going. My blessing didn't come until I did what I was supposed to do. My blessing didn't come until I learned that it is a privilege to even be able to know that you can hurt me. It's a privilege to be able to know that everybody don't love you the way you love them. I promise you it hurts. I promise you it hurts when you have to walk away loving people and they swear you don't love them. But you like, out of everything that I have done, how can you not see that I love you? Go wherever you want to go. Treat people however you want to. And I'm here for you in the midst of it. Don't nobody love me. Don't nobody want to hear me. No, not right now. I can't. I can't. I've taken it to the Lord. I've put you on the altar. I've put you in the drop box. I have fasted. But my purpose is to be there for you. And what is crazy is how God gives you the strength to even do that when you don't want to. Because you have prayed, Lord, give me more of you. Lord, I want to be like you. Lord, I want to love like you. Lord, I want to be used like you. Watch your mouth. Watch your mouth. Because we say everything that we feel is pleasing to the Lord. And what you say is not what's pleasing. It's your actions in the middle of this what's pleasing. What's pleasing is when you got $2 and someone next to you, you know is hungry, but you go through the drive-thru and you get 2 McChickens because you got $2 or whatever. You get 2 or whatever that's on the dollar menu, but you eat both of them. And mouth greasy, and you looking and smelling. Oh, how you doing? Hungry. But guess what? If that's the person that you have been, that if you're a loving person, keep loving that person. Hungry and all. Keep loving them. Because God will provide. He will do. He will do it. And you have to remember, watch your examples. What do you mean by watch your examples? Your mom and your daddy is not always the best example. The pastor at the local church where you are 3 generations strong is not always the best example. Jesus is the example. That is all. You have to remember, and some of you who come up like you know, brought up in the way, as church people say, meaning my granny was saved, my great-granddaddy was saved, my dad's the bishop, I'm a junior deacon in training. That don't mean you know. That has been, when I tell you, I have experienced some of the nastiest. I'm talking about just outright rude, judgmental, and you think, I remember one time we was going to another service, and it was a couple walking down the street, and they were a same-sex couple, and they were holding hands. And one of the saints that I love dearly, respect them highly. I mean, they lost it in the car. And I was like, well, what's wrong? And she was like, oh, that is so nasty. And I was like, okay, well, you know, I thought we were supposed to love everybody. No, that is disgusting in the eyes of the Lord. And I was like, okay. So, well, you know, and she was like, well, that's one thing that you cannot be delivered from. And when I tell you that bothered me so bad, because now some of you don't know, some of you know, I'm talking about this is where we done rolled on the floor, we done frothed at the mouth, we purged every Friday, Sunday morning, and Sunday night. I'm talking about we done cried out to the Father. And then I was like, wait a minute. Now, you was what you was, did what you did, and God will forgive you, but he won't forgive them. So that made me ask, what kind of relationship do you have? Do you have a relationship out of works? Do you have a relationship out of the pure love of Christ? Those are two different things. Some of you are married. Do you have a relationship because he or she do everything to make you feel good? He or she, when you whining and throwing fits, they comfort you. When you pouting, they let you have your way. When you don't want to do it, they do it. Or are you simply out of pure love? Do you love that individual because that's what you love them? For everything that they do that you don't like, you still love them. Singles. Do we love because are we working to love? Meaning, I show you everything you want to see, hoping that you're going to love me. I do everything that you want me to do, hoping that you will love me. I don't want to go, but I'm going to go because I need love. What? You are setting yourself up for ultimate failure. You are setting yourself up to be sorely, as the old people say, disappointed. When I mean sorely, to the touch. Everything about you is mad. Everything about you wants to give up. You don't want to hug nobody. You don't even want to do the side church hug, as we call it. Because you are mad through and through. You are disappointed through and through. Excuse me. Everything in life is not about you and your ideas and making the example that you deem that is right. Please look to Jesus, who is the finisher of, he is it, the Alpha, the Omega, from beginning to end. He has set the example. He has laid the path. Now, I can tell you how I make it. Because all I know how to do is say thank you. That is all. Even in the midst, I'm trying to tell you, mad. But when I start thanking Jesus, it's like everything disappears. I don't care what is going on. I don't care what is in my life. I'm going to stay in that area of thanks. I can sit in thanks. That's right. If we come in here and don't never sing another song, but thank you, Lord, I promise you. And it don't have to sound good. It don't have to, none of that. Just thank you. That's it. Just thank you. That's it. Because I find it a privilege to even know what it's like. Can you imagine not knowing, how can I word it? You going through life and you just going. You don't know nothing. You have no expectations. You're not looking for Jesus. You're not even knowing what he can do. Have no expectations. But when you know him, you know what he can do. Not only what he can do, you have actually witnessed something that he has done for you. It does not have to be that you was laid on your bed of affliction and he heals your body, because everybody shouldn't be sick all the time. I don't want your ailments. I don't want your hardships. You shouldn't want me to have them, because you know what it was for you. Learn how to walk according to Jesus. Please learn how to jump in with both feet. Learn how to do it and say, God, this is it. I am here. This is what I'm going to do. No matter what comes my way, I am going to be that. I am going to love. I'm going to work. I'm going to give. I'm going to be all that I can can be with your help. I know you love me.
Yes, God.
I can't express it enough. Jesus took on every care, every sin, everything that you cry about. He knows. Yet, he has given us the ability to overcome. Why did he die? That we might have opportunity to reign with him. Know that in your relationships, you take on everything that you take on because I want to be as Christ. I want in my relationships people to know and see the Christ in me. I want in my relationships with my co-workers, if I never say another word, they can say that young man has Christ in him or that young woman has Christ. Meaning you don't have to be just walking around saying scripture all the time, because what I've learned about some of them people, they'll cuss you in the same breath. And so then I'm wondering, you got so much scripture, your vocabulary is kind of limited. But I'm saying all this to say, please, in all that you do, seek the right relationships, seek the right example, seek to walk after the ways of Christ, seek to learn the ways of Christ. Learn, if anything, read what was done to him.
Yeah.
And see how he kept operating. To know that you're going to be challenged. To know that you're going to have to operate in the midst of adversity. Yeah. You're going to have to keep going through. You're going to have to. That's the only way. That's the only way. Yes, God is love. But with God being love, did everybody love him? No. Yes, he's a miracle worker. Did everybody appreciate his miracles? No. Was everybody thankful? No. But he kept doing it. He kept doing it. He was never deterred. He kept doing it. And it almost seemed like towards the end there, and they kept magnifying. Like more people could witness what he was doing. So know with your mind, know what you have been called to do, know your area, study that thing, learn more of that area. If you're a giver, learn how to give. Learn how to give in a way that's not offensive. Learn how to give in a way that nobody has to know what's going on. Learn how to give and just do that thing. Maybe I should have just said that. Do that thing. Whatever the thing is that you possess, do that. Do it with a smile. Do it with a hug. Do it with gratitude in your heart that God has given you the opportunity to do that. Miss Donna Covington always says, no, I get to. Whatever that thing is, no, you get to do that. You get to love. You get to be the voice in the community. You get to be, I know he don't know me, but I know you're a football coach, right? You get to do that. Are the parents appreciative? No. I told my brother he do the, where's Jackie at? He's with the Ravens. And he'll come home and he'll say, you know, he goes through his coach stuff. And my first thing is, stop. Ain't that terrible? Ain't I supposed to be the encouragement? Because in I don't have that mind. That's not my mind. So I'm thinking like, if they don't like it, then let them deal with their kids. I don't have kids, forgive me. So, but it's just like being a pastor. Everything that I have to deal with, some people are like, why would you do that? I get to. I get to. It's a privilege. Is it a weight? It is. But guess what? I know how to take it to Jesus. I do. So even in your situation where you feel like, Lord, I can't do this, if you are walking in the purpose, you have taken on Jesus' burden, which is light according to the scripture. You have to learn how to look at it like, Jesus, this is your thing. You get this. I'm not about to keep crying. All right, you got it. And just keep doing everything that you're supposed to do. I encourage you, I admonish you, I lift you up in the way of God. Do everything you can. Please, sir, please, ma'am. Do it with all of your might. Do it, jump in with both feet running. Do it, don't let nobody distract you. Don't let nobody turn you away. Don't let nobody deter you from your mission in Jesus. Know that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I am more than a conqueror. I am the head and not the tail. I have the favor of God on my life. Everything that God has called me to do, I can, I will, and I shall accomplish. Know that. Know that with everything that is in you.